Karuma Town Council is a cultural melting pot along the busy Kampala-Gulu Highway at the edge of Kiryandongo and Oyam districts. Different communities from all over the country, including foreigners, especially Kenyans and South Sudanese who were settled in the district as refugees, live here in harmony. Little was known about this backwater until mid-2012 when the government approved plans to construct the 600-megawatt Karuma hydropower plant along the River Nile after securing $1.7 billion, about 6 trillion shillings, financing from Chinese Exim Bank. Once a sleepy town, Karuma sprang to life when the project construction was flagged off in December 2013. It was expected that the project would be completed within 60 months to electrify the country with cheap power. Commissioning of the first turbine of the dam is expected later this year, 4 years behind schedule. The project construction tender was handed to Chinese contractor Sino-Hydro through the supervision of the Uganda Electricity Company Generation Limited, UEGCL, and its parent Ministry of Energy. When Chinese construction engineers and laborers moved into the town as the project got underway, Karuma attracted thousands from far-flung places to eke a living. 28-year-old Innocent Nansubuga was nearing 19 years in 2014 when the dam construction was in its early stages. She was in her senior 4 vacation, waiting to enroll for A-levels. During her vacation in early 2015, she caught the eye of a Chinese national who was employed at the construction site.
He started coming to me, disturbing me on the road. So I could just ignore him. I go, and then he started coming up to home, following me. He started following me through a policewoman. Her name was Amiti. She could go to her, tell her, I like that your sister. You go and tell her that I like her. I want to marry her. So me even, I was still young, so I could ignore her. I started dodging. So that lady used that opportunity, took him to their home. That is what she told me, that she took him there. She could give them money. Then that man found his way to our home. Started telling my parents he's going to give me job. Because I'm now not working enough in my vacation.
During the UCE vacation, she heard about the contractor needing more casual workers, including cooks and cleaners. She went to the employment sector and was hired instantly. What she encountered on the first day at work was unpleasant and criminal.
Because there were a lot of these Chinese men. If you are working, they are touching your breasts, touching your private parts, so you cannot feel comfortable. So I started working there. He started telling me, first started telling the Chinese, this girl, I am the one who brought her here, she's my woman. So me, I became scared. I started even thinking of leaving the work. I left first, I went to Gulu, to my sister. Then he said I should come back to work, he will not disturb me again. If he disturbed me, I should go and report anywhere I want to. Then they started telling me he's going to chase me if I don't agree with him. So the thing became much, and my parents also, I don't know, maybe they became involved or they became scared, I don't know. The life was also, even me, I was having that heart of continuing with my studies.
When she was rescued from this hostile environment where she thought she was safe,
it was in his room, because I used to clean all their rooms. So there was a time, all the fellow Chinese, they go to work, just remain him, and then because he used to work around with the bigger boss. So bigger boss just stays some few days and then goes to yes. So I was cleaning the bathroom. That was where the man got me, and it was just once even, that's when I got pregnant.
Nansubuga recalls her abuser telling her not to report anyone because he's very powerful and nothing will be done to him.
Then raped me. It was forcefully because I did not I was not even interested in him. So it was just forced. He raped me.
She gathered courage to report the case to police, but this is what the male officer she found on duty told her.
There was a man, he was tall in the police station. He started telling me, "You girls, you are like this. Today you are coming that you are pregnant with the Chinese. How can we know? We don't have evidence. How can we know that you are pregnant for that Chinese? Because no evidence. The child is still in the womb. You wait, if you produce, then you come."
It was even more traumatic for her parents who had a lot of hopes in her while her education dreams were dashed. She gave birth to a mixed-race child and went back to police, but this is what she was told.
Then when I produced, I went to him. He told me, "Why didn't you come early? You would have come when you were still pregnant. You would have done something." I said, "I came here. You did not even write anything. You just told me that you don't have any evidence that I'm pregnant for that man. You cannot arrest just any Chinese. That is the one who raped me."
Such tales, including horror stories, can be found at nearly all infrastructure projects executed by Chinese companies around the country. In 2015, the World Bank was forced to pull the plug on financing the construction of the Kamwenge-Fort Portal Road after local NGO Joy for Children Uganda flagged cases of sexual abuse and child labor. With the prevalence of sex-related crimes across the country from rape to defilement, the majority of which are not prosecuted, government officials initially tried to downplay the sex abuse cases on the Kamwenge-Fort Portal Road. The recent police crime reports for 2020, 2021 and 2022 show that a Ugandan under the age of 18 is sexually abused every 42 minutes. The Karuma Town Council chairperson, Washington Ochaya, told NTV that such stories of sexual abuse or Chinese nationals abandoning local women with children are widespread.
I have over 14 children or 14 mothers who they have produced with the Chinese in my area here. But as government, as the town council that I represent, they are very quiet. But I think through my document now, I am able now to move and advocate for this to be put in action.
Ochaya bemoaned the lack of social safety mechanisms to assist these single mothers.
Because as you can see, these local ladies, they are really very vulnerable. And now, the children that Chinese have produced and they have left here, there is no clear framework to address some of these issues. When I came out as a leader advocating for this, I realized in the documentation, it is clearly showing us that under social corporate responsibility, as a project, they were supposed to release over 700 million under its title of Orphanage Fund. So this Orphanage Fund, it's supposed to address these issues. But since the implementation of this project, since 2013 up to now, and there are very many Chinese children that have been produced and they have left them here, they are now going to school and they are facing so many challenges.
During the commencement of the construction of Karuma Dam, officials promised numerous corporate social responsibility programs that would provide safety nets for orphans and children left behind by both the contractor, Hydro, the employer, Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited, and their parent Ministry of Energy have since gone mute on the matter. The Ministry of Energy told NTV that they are aware of the matter and are currently undertaking scoping of the number of mothers and the children in question, which will inform an appropriate response, working in concert with the contractor, Hydro. Pamela Agwech, the director of the NGO, Gulu Women Economic Development and Globalization, told NTV that there are several cases of adolescent girls and women whose vulnerability was exploited at the site of construction.
Once you started the prosecution processes, you can't find a perpetrator anymore at the end of it all, because you know that it begins with a lot of investigation. Either the Chinese workers are transferred, and you cannot trace them anymore. And sometimes even the leaders who work in the sections where the incidents happen are new people. at the end of it all, there is nobody to support the case. So, and at the same time, it happens with a child mother. These are young girls. They don't have very strong potential to defend themselves.
This crisis comes at the backdrop of the sexual violence suffered by girls and women during the nearly 20 years of the Lord's Resistance Army insurgency.
So society is integrated, and we need very strong intersectional approach to deal with this scenario. Because there's a situation of a child born of war, there's a situation of a child born of violence, of rights, there's a situation of children born out of children. Their mothers are children. They cry together. They even don't know why they are like that. That's how worse the situation is. And who takes the responsibility? So our society needs a double approach, to deal with this situation. It's so worrying.
The Joseph Kony-led LRA unleashed unbridled terror on large swathes of northern Uganda, kidnapping, killing and mutilating between the late 1980s to 2005 when they were repulsed into the DR Congo territory and later the Central African Republic. The guns fell silent 18 years ago, but the scars are yet to heal. There are cases of widespread mental illnesses such as depression, epilepsy, schizophrenia and nodding syndrome, as well as hundreds of children born as a result of sexual violence. After repulsing the LRA, the government in 2007, with help of Western donors, embarked on a phased peace recovery and development plan, or PRDP, which was bungled through dubious deals and false accounting as officials chased the gravy grain, with thousands of victims remained shackled to the chains of trauma and emotional turmoil.
We know that Chinese community, especially where they are working on the roads and infrastructures, have become part of our society. And I think that the problem is now touching us because we had unfinished business with how we should have dealt with the issues of our young girls and young children.
There are also cases where the children born were a result of courtship. 28-year-old Lydia Atim left her hometown in Gulu for Karuma in 2016, where she found work at one of the guest houses. She met a Chinese guest and this blossomed into a relationship.
And from there, this man came, he was my friend. So that's where I've started with him on 2016. And by then, reaching on November, the man went back. By the time he was going back, I was not even knowing that I'm pregnant like that. So I came knowing when I'm now 1 month, when he has already gone back.
She struggles to fend for the family, including her 7-year-old daughter. Most of the women are single mothers in this community. These women are despised and isolated.
Like for now, the problem I'm having, I have nothing in my hand whereby I can support the child the way he's supposed to be. Like for now, I'm renting also, like getting what to eat also sometimes is a problem. And money for paying our school fees is also a problem. So those are the kind of thing I'm getting. I have nowhere even I can take her that to go and stay, like to show her that this is where you're going to be staying. Or getting for her a good school. So those are the things.
Jerubabel Opiokori, the clan leader of Adok of the Langi community, said government needs to come to the rescue of these mothers.
I say that government should collect these children, build for them the school, that they can be taken care there and educate them there, even using them to work to the government. We won't surrender those people, should be surrendered to the hand of the government.
He said the problem is worsened by a flawed justice system, especially from local councils and police, where particularly sexual abuse cases, rape and defilement are always swept under the carpet.
We are very doubtful to the police officer of Uganda, and we are very doubtful to those who justice of Uganda. These people, if you go and claim for any crime done to your passion, otherwise that boy who raped your daughter can be put in the cell of the police only an hour while you are yet present there. At the time you are going back home, you get this crime is also at home.
The clan head admitted that the high levels of poverty in areas straddled by the dam played a leading role in luring them into the hands of the foreigners.
And the Chinese spoiled the wives of our boys. Most of them, housewives, not only girls. Chinese, some were eating in the hotels and they don't pay. If you are asking them, they use their language that we don't know. Most of them can eat for a month or 2 months, and they escape where we don't know, without payment of the money for the food they have eaten. Even some are renting. They rent saying that give us we can stay. They escape in the night, 2 months without paying the rent house. They were doing so many challenges we have faced.
Following the fallout from the Kamwenge-Fort Portal Road in 2015, the World Bank sent a team of investigators on the ground which confirmed that oversight was not sufficiently vigorous and its supervision missions did not result in effective problem-solving, which had been raised almost a year earlier.
We should not give up in investigation of these cases. If we can go back to do systematic documentation of cases with evidences, I believe that the case can go through legal redress and for the victim. But it required very strong concerted effort. There must be support always for the victim and survivor.
The bank has since set the bar high as regards environment and social concerns for projects it funds, and the same has been applied in Western donor-financed projects. These stringent rules do not apply for Chinese-funded projects, which are the majority across the country, as Chinese companies continue to face off in tough wars for lucrative tenders in road construction and other civil construction works.